hello to the people, please.
Hey y'all, how's everybody doing?
Oh, we're good. We're good. So, as we always do, we like to have a little blurb called Taz Reads the News. I would use my vocalizer, but
Please
apparently
don't.
my nothing.
Please
I
don't.
know. I know. I know. I'm gonna
I
do it
can't.
one
I'm
night though.
not getting put in the corner
Def,
again by
Hey,
Nana
Def's not
J.
I'm gonna do it one
Don't
night
do.
though. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Nana J said, "Don't do it.
Please
Don't have
don't.
me put in the corner
I'm gonna
again."
do it.
Please
Okay.
don't.
I'm gonna do it.
Please don't.
I'm not. Okay, I won't do it. Damn.
But
So
tonight we're
Taz
going
reads the
to.
news with the one and only Taz J. Take it away, Miss T.
Alrighty. Whew. Okay, y'all. We're gonna keep it short, sweet, and to the point today, so we can get into our guest. Okay. Attorney General says Pam Bondi removed 60 DEA agents fighting drug trafficking in Arizona. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays says the U.S. Department of Justice pulled dozens of Drug Enforcement Administration DEA agents out of Arizona, an allegation she argues undercuts frontline efforts to disrupt fentanyl trafficking and cartel activity along the southern border. In late August 2025, Mays said the Trump administration moved 60 Arizona based DEA agents to Washington, D.C. as a part of a federal crime crackdown in the nation's capital. I need y'all to keep in mind that the current narrative in regards to Venezuela is fentanyl distribution, production, and crossing of the border, even though they haven't even come close to the border. And the current pardon czar is a former head of a drug cartel. But yes, let's keep moving agents from
Hey.
where we need agents to be.
Because,
the best
logic.
job you can. Yeah, the best job you could have right now, a drug lord, because there's nobody chasing you. But if you're Mexican, if you're Mexican, you might be fucked. You might be fucked. Continue.
Now, remember that Trump is promising hundreds of percent of crackdowns and discounts on pharmaceuticals, but we can't have universal health care and all these other things. And he's promising the military checks of 1776. Want to know what else he's doing? Trump plans immigration crackdown with $170 billion in new funds. I know you fucking lying. U.S. President Donald Trump is preparing for a more aggressive immigration crackdown in 2026 with billions in new funding, including by raiding more workplaces, even as backlash builds ahead of next year's midterm elections. I do not care how much money that man has that he wants to throw at ICE agents that can't read, can't fit, make any of the physical criteria to get there. If you raggedy motherfuckers call ICE on me again, I'm gonna come to your house and slap the shit out of you. Just so you know. I'm sick of y'all shit.
One day, they're going to have to defund ICE. And when they do, I promise you, I'm just going to walk around with hot drinks. I don't want I don't want to hear about an iceberg from the Titanic. I don't want to hear shit. They're going to debunk. ICE is about to go away. This much money, this much rampant bullshit, ICE is getting ready to go bye-bye. They getting ready to go. They better hey, if you an ICE agent, make all the money you can right now, buddy, because I'm telling you, you about to get the fuck out. You about to lose your job. I'm just saying.
You about to get your ass whooped. People about to lay hands on you.
They really are. Somebody gonna beat their ass.
You're about to have an out-of-body experience, okay?
Somebody gonna beat their ass.
Somebody gonna take you to the king. You right there. And I'm not playing. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not playing with y'all, little truck. Call ICE on me again. I will fuck your mother.
Oh Lord. Hey, we have
Lord.
We have six, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 guests here. We can't really just be, you know what I mean? And here comes 7.
I mean,
maybe we
they
cannot.
might want to help. I don't know. But here's our final story. I know Trump thinks that people like him, but guess what? Even the stupid don't like him anymore. Donald Trump's approval rating flips with least educated Americans. Do you know how despicable you have to be to get stupid people to hate you?
Wait,
okay. Maybe I shouldn't have said it that way, but it's the truth. President
people.
Donald Trump Sr.'s approval rating has dropped among the least educated Americans over the past 3 months, according to the latest poll released by Qantas Insights on Thursday. It is yet more bad news for the president, whose popularity has tanked in recent weeks as Americans grow more concerned over the U.S. economy and more frustrated about the ongoing affordability challenges they are facing. Trump, you took their food stamps and you about to take away their Social Security benefits. Cletus and Gomer Pyle, they gonna whoop your ass.
even
They gonna catch me in the parking
even
lot.
the poorly educated don't like you
Oh
anymore.
God, poorly educated.
And with and with that, that concludes the news for this week's edition of Taz Tells All of the news.
All right.
Now, real quick before we get into our guests, they're here because some of you are aware, some of you have forgotten, and some of you are not aware. There is a case surrounding teenager Carmelo Anthony. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background information, and then we're going to have everybody. Okay, we got a whole party going on here.
We are sitting at 13 people.
Yeah, we're going
This
to
is
have
this is
everybody.
this is gonna be a lively show.
Yeah,
will
we're going to
probably
have
do final
everybody
thoughts,
introduce
at the-
themselves
Yes.
after this, but let's get into the background information. So, background. April 2nd, 2025, Carmelo Anthony was accused in the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf at a Frisco, Texas high school track meet. June 2025, he was indicted on first-degree murder in the Collin County via the Collin County grand jury. He is being tried as an adult and faces a sentencing, if convicted, of 5 years to life. July 2025, a gag order was issued. This prevents involved parties from speaking publicly on this. This gag order was imposed on the families, attorneys, and others involved directly with the case. According to the judge, this gag order was implemented due to concerns regarding pretrial publicity, and this is because a lot of people who are color redacted have turned this into an extremely racial matter, and they're using this in order to attack melanated folks for the sake of their color redacted. Now, in regards to the trial date, etc., the trial date currently is scheduled to start June 1st of 2026. The current plea is not guilty. The defense is stating that they're choosing the defense route of self-defense as of right now. Keep in mind, these things can change throughout the course of a trial and leading up to the trial. I'm giving you information as of today. Bond was set April 2025. It was reduced from $1 million to $250,000 and led to a house arrest with an ankle monitor. And I pointed that out before you go, of course, Taz, if they're on house arrest, they have an ankle monitor. There was a rumor going around that some way, somehow he had finagled himself out of having an ankle monitor. So just for the sake of clarification, we are putting that out there. Also, just to be clear, one, Sarah Fields, I am putting you on notice. Anything that you use from this show to harass any guest of this show or any panelist, there are 3 attorneys currently watching that will have no problem presenting you with a cease and desist and formal litigation. You have done enough to harass the Anthony family and multiple advocates for the Anthony family. You will not do so tonight.
Oh, not to mention the fact, and let's just be honest, the management of GCPR approves whatever is said and who is said, what is said on this show. If you have a problem with this show or any guests that we have on it, please reach out at GhostClaw, P-R-O-D, it's all one word, GhostClaw, P-R-O-D, at gmail.com. There you will get a chance to talk to the management. I'm sorry, I happen to be the manager. I am the CEO and chief content creator for Ghost Claw Productions Radio. So if there is a problem that you have with anyone on this show, you will be taking it up with me. Now, as I have stated to every guest that has ever come on The Villain's View or any other show on this network, on this radio station, and I have explained to every single one of my show hosts, management backs you up, period. So if you have a problem, bring it up with me. And if we see even a portion of this show anywhere on your whatever, we will sue your ass.
Yes. And a little bit more housekeeping for those that do watch the Taz Effect. You already know that linked in my bio is Carmelo Anthony's Gibson Go link to raise funds for his legal fund. You can click that at any point to donate. Once again, let me be very, very, very clear. Sarah Fields, I know about the post that you put in your Facebook group. I am reiterating it. Said group is being monitored through the entirety of this interview. Play with somebody, mama, not this one. Okay? Now with
Play with
that,
somebody else.
Now, with that, I'm going to have our guests one by one just introduce themselves, give a little bit of background information, and then we'll get into the interview aspect of it all. Let's start with Miss Lena, if you don't mind.
Hey everyone, my name is Lena. I am originally from Wisconsin. I'm currently in Texas. I am one of the advocates that is represented by Miss Tiffany Billions. We are representing the Carmelo Anthony's case, and I am glad to be a part of the case just due to the overall circumstances.
Nice.
And Miss Tiffany, next, please.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Billions. I'm an advocate and activist for the people. I've been an activist since 2008, working on such cases as Botham John, Tatiana Jefferson, and this case, along with other cases that were small before this one. I believe that we all have the right to equal protection under the law, and my job is to make sure that people know how to advocate and to advocate for the Anthony family.
Perfect.
Mr. 12 Tribes.
Yes, 12 Tribes. I'm an advocate as well. This is something I've done pretty much all my life. My mother was an advocate. My formal background was in law enforcement, state, the federal government as well, and even county.
Okay.
Okay.
Chocolate Mama.
Chocolate Mama.
Hey everybody. I'm so sorry. I was running
Oh.
back to my phone.
That's fine.
I am an advocate. I work with Miss Tiffany Billions, and surrounding the Carmelo case, I am one of the individuals who put in a request to go and see the video that's being held at Frisco ISD.
Okay.
And Dwayne.
Dwayne. Yeah, Dwayne.
Good evening. I'm also an advocate. I'm a Texas resident, and I also just like Chocolate Mama. I did put in a request, and I saw the video as well.
Okay. Mr. Lee Matt,
Lee Matt.
1870.
Good evening, everybody. I am an advocate for Carmelo Anthony. I represent the Billions brand, and I am retired military and residing in Texas. And I'm really the quiet assassin.
Oh, so what brand?
Army, red leg.
Red leg.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Listen, hoorah for real.
Oosha.
I got you. I got you.
Okay. Vibe Chaser 22.
This is my first time really doing any advocacy like this, but this is just a case that I strongly believe in. And self-defense is not a crime.
Be there.
There you
I
go.
am that one.
Hello, I am that one. I am an activist with Tiffany Billion surrounding this case with Carmelo Anthony, and I am from Jacksonville, Florida.
Erica 92.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here tonight. I am new to activism. I've always had a passion for it, but just didn't really know how to go about it. And so through Tiffany's leadership, I am, learning a lot. When I saw Carmelo's picture and heard the story, I knew something wasn't right. And, the look in his eyes just drew me to him because I knew this was a scared child and I knew there was more to the story. And so through this journey, I found so much more about this case, continue to find out things today. And thank you so much for having us. And I am looking forward to acquittal.
Yoli.
How y'all doing?
Hello.
How you doing, John? Give us just a
Yo-
second.
It is.
We're doing the introduction.
One
for
moment,
everybody.
John. We're still going through introductions. Yoli.
Hi, everyone. My apologies. Someone was chatting with me. I'm Yoli, and so I work kind of behind the scenes a little bit with Tiffany and the rest of the team as an advocate for the Carmelo family. I am in Texas. I did also see the video. Um, I think it's 163 more days that we have to get this case, closed out and get Carmelo home.
Mr. John Cabral.
You know what? I didn't realize that I joined beneath my official Zoom, but that's okay. I think this is a space where I don't mind y'all knowing my identity. It's the one and only prophet, y'all. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
We doing good. We doing excellent. I'm actually up here trying to get my baby a snack before he goes to bed.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Absolutely.
And Chirac Evil Queen. I believe that's what it says.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Chirac Evil Queen. Of course, Villain knows me. How you doing, friend?
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good, and you? And I am also an activist for Carmelo Anthony. I'm also an activist locally in Chicago with the children of Chicago. So I am happy to be working with Miss Tiffany Billions. Tiffany is an inspiration, and as far as this case goes, Carmelo is very much innocent. So
Rounding it out, Jenny.
Hello, you guys. I am also an advocate for Carmelo, and I'm with Tiffany.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Now, jumping right into this. There will be a series of questions. Whoever chooses to answer, unless I say a specific name, feel free to jump in and answer as you please. Okay? Now, given that the Metcalf family, from the beginning of media coverage for this case, has made this specifically about race to garner sympathy, how, as an advocate, are you working to ensure that the judge and jury pay attention to the case and not complexion?
We'll start with Miss Tiffany.
I was waiting on somebody else to
Yeah,
speak.
we listen.
It's okay.
This is probably the largest cast of guests we've had on
Well,
this show in.
well, let me speak to that really quickly because
Go
I
ahead.
just read the Zoom. I just read the instructions from your assistant, and I forgot about the Zoom link, so I didn't send it out. And I just sent it out like 5 minutes before the podcast. So if I had sent it out to all my people, you would probably have about 60 or 70 people in here. So I'm hoping that we can maybe redo this show where I can send the link out and just so we can all get in here and talk. But
Absolutely. Listen, this is absolutely no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
We want more people to actually speak on this because of how monumental of a case it's shaping up to be. The it's kind of like, how they say the upside down.
Right.
The victim came from a poor, broken home. The
Yeah.
person that was defending himself comes from a well-to-do family. They are labeling things. You've gotten the family involved in a whole bunch of stuff. So we absolutely love this. If we have to do a part 2 or a part 3, we really honestly, we can do it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this show. We can do that.
Yeah, we're down for that. So the way that we're attempting to separate race from racial conjecture. We understand that the father's motive by actually inviting interviews, because we must understand that the father actually invited interviews. When the media called him to ask him questions, he invited the media out to his home to interview him, which is very strange, being that he had lost his son less than 24 hours prior to. But the way that we separate race from this particular case is that we lean on the law and penal codes, right? And so when people say things like, he's an animal, he shouldn't have been there, he shouldn't have, he had no right to be there, and he drove his car and he broke school policy. And so what we do, and what the advocates and activists that are here do, is we are very well versed on penal codes, the penal codes that applied in that situation, which are Texas Penal Codes 9.31 and 9.32 and other codes. And so we stick to the facts. We keep it, we stay along the baseline of this is the law, and the law applies to everyone equally, right? And so when we stick to that foundation, what we find is that on the other side, it's just a bunch of emotionalism. It's
Yeah.
it's no facts. It's a bunch of emotionalism based on hate. And so we've all seen that, and we talked about that. That's been really our conversation the last 2 weeks as activists, is that we're not debating with them anymore. We're not arguing with them anymore. We're not trying to convince them anymore, because we understand now that they're not arguing penal codes. They're arguing race.
And
Ah.
when you bring up that they're arguing off of emotion, which they are, um, I do know that there have been quite a few instances where the Anthony family has been doxxed, where people have, tried to invade their space no matter where they are going.
Right.
The Next Generation Action Network, uh, over the course of months, has provided security for them, getting them to and from court, getting them to and from press conferences. But as activists, you can find yourself facing, potential doxing, potential stalking. What are you all doing to protect one another for the good fight for the Anthonys?
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a great question. The first thing that we're doing is learning how to be present on the internet without and being present on social media without putting ourselves at risk and our families at risk. So I always tell the activists who they hit me up and they want to join. So I always tell them how to structure their social media accounts. Um, uh, and so I'm going to speak to this, but I want Yoli to speak to this as well. We generally don't use our real names. We also work behind a VPN, a virtual private network. We make sure that we don't post pictures of our family or our children, because the other side has been known to take those pictures and do use sexually inappropriate, um, turn them into sexually inappropriate images, right? So we do tell our people to be very safe. Do not use their full name and to work behind a VPN. And Yoli can speak more to that. But before she speaks to that, I wanted to answer your question about the Anthony security and their doxing, or your statement about that. So and this is why we raise money for them, because even with the security that they're being provided, that they were being provided by NGAN, that costs them like on a weekly basis. And so we're at the point where we're leaning on our own resources to provide the security that they need without having to charge them for it. But Yoli can speak to the rest of the question.
Yeah, so Tiffany's pretty much summed it up. We generally separate ourselves, right? Our lives are not put in the spaces where we operate for this case. So you won't have my real name. You won't know anything about my family. We clean up, but one of the first things we tell our advocates is clean up everything. Whatever you're using to advocate with, it needs to be dissociated from what we are going to do. If you need to create alias emails, well, we send in our FOIA request, right? we don't put that information on there because you can actually get that information if you request. For example, Sarah Fields requested copies of everything that Tiffany requested, right? If she requested that information from any of us, and we, put our real information on there, then we doxed ourselves basically, right? And then she goes down this rabbit trail of finding additional information about our families, our jobs. In some cases, they will take that information, share screenshots about our advocacy, and turn it into something negative and attempt to get us, terminated. So it's very important for us to use things like the VPN that Tiffany discussed, which puts a different IP address on the work that we do, right? And that helps to eliminate being tracked down. So those are some of the things that we do to help eliminate us being doxxed from the oppositions because they are vicious.
Given that people like Sarah Fields, who markets herself as an investigative journalist, which I find hilarious, because perusing the parameter of all her profiles, the only thing she investigates is how to increase her racism. But I digress. Have you all put together a legal team or legal fund for yourselves for additional protection?
I'll speak to that. So we are in the process. We just started doing that within the last 2 to 3 weeks because initially what we thought, and maybe it was wishful thinking, was that if someone doxed us, if someone harassed us, if someone cyber stalked us, and we had screenshots to prove all of this was going on, right? We thought that we could reach out to the FBI and we could reach out to the Department of Justice, and we could also reach out to our local police department with screenshots and with proof of even audio of them threatening us, and the local police and the FBI would do something about it. Well, it took a while before we realized they're not going to do anything about it. And once we realized that we're not receiving responses back from the authorities and this stuff is going on, I decided to assemble a legal team, and we're still in the process of doing that. It is almost complete, but and I'm excited about it because most people look at Sarah Fields' profile and they look at the fact that she's a Republican chair, which is basically a volunteer precinct position, which you just make sure people are voting and make sure the booths are clean. When you report her, they look at her position, the law enforcement, and they say, "Oh, well, um, she's a journalist. We're really not going to take this any further." And
Oh yeah,
so,
they ignore it, and they also ignore the fact that she only got that position because she conspicuously keeps running unopposed.
exactly, I love it that you've done your homework.
Oh
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
This woman's on TikTok, correct?
She's
She's
on
on
TikTok,
TikTok
she's on
and
Facebook,
Facebook
she's on
and
Instagram,
Twitter.
she has a
Correct. She's
YouTube channel.
everywhere.
All right, because I'm about to
She's
find
been
her. 'Cause-
banned from a couple of places. A few people locally, she's been accused of not paying them for some things. And she does have a few things in litigation right now. And her GoFundMe, maybe you shouldn't have put that out there, Miss Fields, because nobody is a threat to you. And
Right.
you weren't exactly using those funds for what you said that you were using them for. Maybe you shouldn't post so
Are
much.
we talking
You
about the
slipped
person
up.
that's named Sarah Hutch
Fields.
Uncensored?
Yes.
Or
Sarah
Yes.
Hutchins.
that's her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
she looks
that's her.
exactly like I thought she would. That
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I had this thought in my mind about what she looked like, and now I'm like, damn, I am right on the nose. Like she looks exactly like what I thought she would look like.
Now,
She's like the sort of person who wants to sue.
I understand that you all are appropriately taking steps to protect your identities and everything online, but at some point, advocacy has to move offline. What are you doing um, offline to advocate for the family? And we'll start with that, and then we'll have a secondary question afterwards.
So when you talk about offline advocacy, um, I guess I'm trying to understand what you mean by that, because so much is done online. If you could define, you're saying things that are not done on social media.
Offline, as is there a team that will be in the courtroom when any hearings occur? Is there a team that, if enough funds are not raised, will be able to and willing to take up security details? Is there a team that's willing to do some legwork, maybe some paralegal work in legal libraries for the Anthony family, things like that, things that
Okay.
you may not be able to do from behind the screen?
Right. So we do have a team. We just recently got a team within the last 3 days. Um, who It's a security team, and they will be providing security detail. And I was just speaking to Yoli about this. I think it was yesterday or today. They will be providing security detail for the Anthony's whenever they need it, and especially during court. And so we just recently came in contact with those people, and we're still speaking to them regarding court hearings and things like that. There's a gag order and a protective order on the entire case, and so no one is able to attend the hearings um, except for the defendant and the prosecution and the attorneys. And so that's an issue as well, because the gag order and the protective order have absolutely nothing to do with court attendance, but the judge, who is a crook, and I have to say that the judge, who is a crook, has extended these things to attempt to make them cover the hearings. So the hearings right now are not open to the public. FOIA requests are not open to the public. So we are located here locally, and that was the idea, to have a team, but we don't have access to the courts right now, and we're fighting for that access. The other thing is, we do have a team of lawyers that work online and both offline, um, in support of the Anthony's. And also, so they're working in the background, and they're telling me what to tell the Anthony's to tell their attorney, right? And also, we have a team that works offline, and they monitor the harassment, but that is only been going on for the last 2 weeks.
So I do have a question about the harassment part of it. Um, I'm sure that the Anthonys have made police reports about the harassment that they're getting. Has anything come of that? Have they done any sort of investigation or any of that because of those?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So the first um, stint of harassment happened after they were doxxed by Sarah Fields. They were doxxed, I believe, on April the 15th, the same day that Carmelo was arraigned. I mean, the same day that he was released on bond. And Sarah Fields published their address, and within hours, there were at least 3 truckloads of white men riding in front of their house, who had somehow got into their gated community, riding in front of their house, waving guns. And Mr. Anthony called the police, and the police came out and said, "Oh, those are not real guns. We can't prove that those are real guns." And so Mr. Anthony got on the phone with Dominique Alexander of NGAN. It took Dominique to get a while to get from Dallas to Frisco, and when he got there, he demanded that the police document what was happening, the harassment and the threats. And the police documented it because Dominique, he demanded it, but they didn't move on it. We're documenting it. It's an incident report, but we're not going to move on it because the guns weren't real, the threats weren't real. And so I've even reached out to the Department of Homeland Security. Someone told me to reach out. They had a contact out there. And when I told them about the Anthony's being doxxed and harassed, and them having to move 3 times, the gentleman said to me, "Well, why do they keep moving? Why don't they just face whatever is going on?" And so people are not doing their jobs.
Wait a
They're
minute.
not
So
they're not doing their jobs.
they want them to the the person from the Department of Homeland Security said, why don't they face them?
Yeah. Why do they keep moving? Why don't they face them? And I was dumbfounded. I was just, what? What are you saying? And so this is what we're dealing with. I mean, we have proof that we've sent all of this stuff over to the FBI multiple times and nothing happened. So that's when we as a community have to step in and, thankfully we were able to find them security like within the last 3 days.
Here's well, given the administration and the current regime, question: do you have a committee of people within your collaborative of activists that are reaching out on every level of government for political assistance?
So we just started. We just started a campaign, and it's called Crockett Rocket, and it included us reaching out to Jasmine Crockett and the Black Caucus. And so we recently, and I don't know if Constitutional is in here or not. I haven't looked at the guests, but we.
Yeah, the
Yes.
constitutional scholar is right there.
Okay, Constitutional. Do you want to speak to that? See if he'll come off mute.
There it is.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hey, everybody. So with Crockett Rocket, we reached out to Jasmine Crockett and the Black Caucus, to bring awareness to Carmelo's case, to try to see if we could get some political insight and get politicians speaking on the matter. And so that's what we've been doing. We've heard back from a couple people in her office that she's gotten wind of it. So we're just going to continue to reach out. And we know this is a persistent thing that we have to stay consistent with to get her to speak out. But she is aware of it. And we're just going to keep pushing for it so we can get her to speak out on it and potentially maybe get an investigation going into Collin County, or at least a public statement so that it raises more concerns on the political level.
Also,
Could I
have
say something
you?
about this?
Go ahead.
Like it's not just Tiffany, right? So y'all don't know Prophet. Prophet is also a creator on TikTok. One of my mutuals actually is trying to get their following list to send out official postage to the congressman in Texas. The goal is to get the same exact letter from different parts of the country on their desk, right? So when you send official postage and you pay for it, unlike unofficial mail, their secretaries just leave it on their desk. The goal is when they come back from this Christmas break to have these letters from multiple sources across the country sitting on their desk so that they can see physically people all over care about Carmelo Anthony and what happens to him inside of their state. I myself actually offered to cover some of the postage. I know it's cheap, but for anyone that has contention about it, you can reach out to my brother Really Real. He's the one doing it, and he can give you guys the story when you want.
Okay. Also, are you looking at any more localized politicians? And secondary, not just asking for guidance, but asking them to push for law enforcement to do their jobs to protect all parties involved.
Go ahead, Prophet.
I can step in if you all want me to.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, as a team, we are running multiple campaigns to try and push information out to appropriate sources. That way, we can get the backing, and not only the backing, but the funding for the Anthony family because they are in need due to their circumstances. We collaborate on many different levels to ensure that the campaigns that we are running are going to be successful and we reach the right people and the right audience to ensure not only the safety for the family, but to also make sure that the family again receives the funds that they need because they have received so many threats. They have, again, been doxxed. We just want to make sure that this family is protected, but most importantly, we have to remember we're dealing with a good old boys type city.
Yeah.
And so, because of the connections that the family has within the city, being that they've been in the city for so long, this is why this case or this trial is going to go the way that it's going. And so, it's our responsibility as advocates under Miss Tiffany Billions to ensure that we're doing everything possible to get the word out, make sure this family is protected, and make sure that we as advocates are getting this situation under wraps and taken care of.
Have
I
you
was just
reached out to journalists for the sake of additional advocacy? to have journalists on the ground to be sure to cover everything, have journalists that would be able to give you information from inside the courtroom, etc.
Chocolate Mama, will you speak to that? Is she here?
Yeah, she's right there.
Yes.
I wasn't gonna call her Miss Mama. That just sounded weird. So I was just gonna, ma'am.
No,
She's
it's
over,
okay.
she's over our
Yeah,
journalist campaign.
yes. We have a campaign called Expose the Leak, which is we've been sending emails to different news stations, giving tips about the Collin County court clerk, Melanie Stoller. She was going into Carmelo's file and releasing confidential information to Sarah Fields. And Sarah
The
Fields
fuck?
was, yes, yes,
This
she
I
was
don't like
leaking
Sarah Fields.
information. Yeah,
I
and
don't
we
like
don't
Sarah.
like her either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
she's where a lot of the misinformation is coming from that the other side is equipped with.
Okay,
Um,
Um,
got yeah.
can I say this really quickly?
Sure,
Prophet,
absolutely.
Prophet, I invited you here. I'm going to ask you to be respectful. Um, and if you can only speak when you're asked to come off mute, that would be great. Go ahead, Chocolate Mama.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. So yes, the Collin County Court Clerk, Melanie Stoller, she was, she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she was doing it anyway. We do have screenshots of her. She sent a message to another person on TikTok saying that I was suspended without pay because I looked into his file when I had no business.
The fuck?
So, yes. So we've been reaching out to different news station, I mean, different news, just different news like in NBC and um, the Texas Tribune. Um, what's another one?
Well,
The
you
Texas Observer. It's a bunch of different news stations that we've been reaching out to. That way we can get that exposed at least because nobody has done a story on that.
right. And more
And
recently, Chocolate Mama has been
sorry.
successful with reaching out to the Dallas Morning News, and they have
Hmm.
responded. And so we've sent them a packet, which includes all of the screenshots, all of the messages, and the Texas ethics complaint that covers the violations that occurred when Melanie Stoller uh, sent information to Sarah Fields. And that includes abuse of official capacity and the violation of Carmelo Anthony's civil rights. So, to answer the question whether or not we've been proactive with speaking with the media, we've been proactive in trying to contact the media. What we noticed is that Sarah Fields released the indictment before the indictment was actually released to the public. And that was concerning. We knew that there was a leak on the inside. The issue with this is because it's MAGA season, right?
Of course it is.
Because it's
Of
freaking
course it
MAGA
is.
season, when we reach out to these outlets, which we do multiple times a week, and they see that, oh, they're talking about Sarah Fields, the journalist, or these people are Republican that they're talking about, then it's mum's the word, everybody's quiet. So when we can get one or two journalists that hit us back, and we're trying to see if they'll do the story, and so that's where we are right now. That's where we are
I'm
right now.
I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. This all smells like they are setting up some bullshit. Now I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion asking any of you to talk on the case. Promise you this. But there's no way this Sarah Fields person is still walking around here throwing out information that she's not supposed to have and nobody notices. Like it smells like some shit's about to go down.
They notice, but given national events right now, and the Department of Justice, most notably the sitting Attorney General of the United States, needs a makeover of their reputation, of how the public views them. Do you have a plan set in place to get information to the DOJ, specifically the Attorney General, so in the hopes that as she's on this redemption tour, she will help the plight of Carmelo Anthony.
Absolutely. So the plan is to alert the media, to bring media attention to this. And once we get that media attention, to file a complaint with the Department of Justice. So the plan is to get that out there first and then file a complaint. So let me just be clear. A complaint has been filed with the Department of Justice regarding the harassment, regarding the doxing that Sarah has done. And the response that I received back was that I needed to contact my local law enforcement. That is what the Department of Justice sent me. So what we're doing now is that we're getting the media involved. If we can get the media to question this leak, because how in the world was Sarah Fields able to release information that Carmelo was being indicted, but she didn't on June the 24th, but she didn't submit her FOIA request until June the 27th. So it doesn't make sense, right? And if we can get them to look at these facts, which is why the attachments that we're sending over to the media are in chronological order. This is what happened, and then this happened, and that happened, right? If we can answer all of those questions and get the media involved, then I'm sure that when we reach out to the DOJ the second time, then maybe they'll be more responsive. So we have reached out to them. We were referred back to local law enforcement. So now we're involving the media, and then we're going to reach out to the DOJ again.
This
Have
absolutely should be
you
a
tried? Here's my question. When I'm saying to utilize the Attorney General and the Department of Justice, I'm not talking about through reports. I'm talking about through addressing them like, hey, I know that you don't like being looked at as the villain. Here's a way for you not to be on the wrong side of history. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get it. Mm-hmm.
Also, have you considered utilizing outlets such as I don't agree with all of them, but you know, got to do what you got to do to get the message out. TMZ, Shade
Lord.
Room.
I thought it was
Things
either
like that.
TMZ or Fox. Either I was about to go, girl, listen.
Well, first of all, I cannot say the other one because we know Mr. Man loves to report everything. I said I can't. You can.
Okay.
I can't because
Fox
as soon as I
News.
do, yeah, he loses his mind like
Puppy
I done
face
stole
fucker.
his best friend.
Old sock smelling bitch. I can do this. I'm retired. I don't care. They can't do shit to me. I'll say it. TMZ.
Tiffany, I'm sorry. May I answer that?
Go ahead. Please, absolutely.
Somebody went. TMZ was live a few days ago, and people were in their chat, putting "Free Carmelo" and some other, of our slogans for Carmelo. And TMZ basically turned their comments off and muted them for their live.
But yeah,
wait a minute, wait.
TMZ wants clicks, likes, views. They want ratings. So has a press packet been sent to them?
No, a press packet has not been sent to TMZ, and that is something that we can do.
And that's why I also brought up the Shade Room. Like I said, I don't agree with them. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with them, and I don't agree with their tactics. But because these are outlets that want attention, they will put out what's sent to them. So I'm just asking, has that been considered?
I'm gonna tell you, if the Shade Room gets involved, I mean, it'll be a great story, but the Shade Room is owned by some shady ass people.
Yeah, I know.
So you know what I mean.
Also,
let me interject. I've this 12. I've reached out. I didn't even talk to Erica, Tiffany, none about this, but I've reached out to Angela Yee. I've reached out to her, and you're exactly right. And what I was hoping was once I contact her, TMZ kind of rolls off those kind of outlets. You know, so if you can't, we can't go directly to them. They'll roll off it. Angela Yee, like you guys said, they looking for gossip.
Yeah, Angela
Pretty
You know,
much.
and
Yee,
yeah,
Amanda
yeah,
Seals,
I, yeah,
Jubilee. These are
yeah,
places that,
yeah. So
like I
I've reached
said,
out.
they're not the greatest, but if you want the attention and you want other outlets to kind of dogpile on it, because once somebody else feels like they're being scooped, they're gonna jump on it. They're gonna be hungry for information. And
Right.
sometimes you got to go to the junkyard and give the junkyard dog a bone.
Yeah.
I
Well, I'm
mean,
trying to
Roland
set up
Martin is
like an
still out
interview
there.
for us. I'm trying to
Yeah.
actually set up a outlet like what we're doing right here with Angela
Mhm.
Yee. Actually, I hadn't even told anybody that. I ain't even talked to Tiffany about it. And because I don't do a lot of talking, you know, I just try to get the walking, get the work done. And so we'll see what happens. But I've
I
already
mean,
reached out. So we'll see what happens. But we are, yeah. The
the
answer to your
biggest
question, yes.
the biggest voice I would think as far as black journalists is concerned would be Roland Martin.
And so
Roland
we've reached out to him.
and got no feedback from him at
We've
all.
reached out to him at least 4 to 5 times with the entire story, the narrative, documents, and nothing back from him. The only person that has responded to us is Dallas Morning News and Claudia Jordan.
Um, I'm going to
And
put
Snoop
this.
Dogg.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
put this out
and
here, and
Snoop Dogg.
it may sound
Yes.
weird, but right now she is on a I don't give a fuck tour, and she's reminding people that above all else, she is a black woman. Have you reached out to Holly Berry?
I have not. No, we have
Holly,
not.
Holly
Ooh.
Berry is on our list as
Ooh.
someone that we're reaching out to. I have a list of about 70 athletes and celebrities that we are contacting through social media, email, manager, directly on all platforms.
If you get a hold of Holly Berry, could you tell her
No,
hi?
Thomas.
Kiss
Yeah,
my
and
Halle
we're
Berry was the
also
finest woman out in America when I was growing up. If I get a chance to stand next, if somebody knows somebody to
I
stand next to somebody,
said what I said.
why?
Till you
See,
pay your snack debt to me, sir,
I,
you
okay,
will
I
get no looky
I will
loos at Miss
FedEx you
Berry.
a
Well,
bag
then
of
see
Reese's Pieces.
if it's not for Thomas, then how about then?
IT twin, yeah, you can be there. Yeah, go
Yes, sir.
well,
Yo, that's for real. We gon'
Yes.
for real. That's how we do now. Doing shows together for a year. Y'all that's
Time,
wild.
Billy.
See,
I am
I'm
a
gonna cry in the
great little
car.
sister, okay?
I'm
But
gonna
no.
cry in the car. I'm gonna just tell y'all I'm
Cry
crying in
in the car. Cry
Say,
in the car.
I'm
go
gonna
and
cry in
cry.
the car and then go into my house, which is right next to the damn.
I don't give a damn.
I'm gonna cry in the car.
Go and cry.
There.
Go and
Y'all
cry.
look like I can. Take a picture. Write it down. Record this. Screenshot it. I don't give a damn.
Say, while you crying, I'm laughing.
Yeah, I'm using a soundboard. Tomorrow morning, I'm making sure to let y'all know that my co-host on the Villains View won't let me get a shout out from Halle Berry.
I'll
I
make a
think
whole
that's
segment on the
bullshit.
Taz effect. I don't give a damn.
That's
I will
bullshit.
make a graphic of you crying and put it in the back. And I
Listen,
will spend the first 30 minutes of my show
I will take the picture
roasting
of
you.
Halle Berry wearing a Free Carmelo t-shirt. How about that?
I leave for an hour and it devolves into this.
Yes.
It was
I'm just saying.
going fantastic. I loved it, and then it devolved into that.
All I'm saying is,
It
if
went
we can
south
get Halle Berry to
very
wear a
quickly.
Free Carmelo t-shirt, and I deliver said Free Carmelo t-shirt to her, and I just so happen to take a picture next to Halle Berry wearing a Free Carmelo t-shirt, I have done my part, and I got to meet Halle.
I agree.
I'm just saying it. I'm derailing, sidetracking.
Now, okay,
This is quite
back
funny.
to the interview at hand. Now, for a lot of people, and especially young people, they hear the word activist and they think of the most notable historic figures. They think about large creators on social media. What is the reality of activism in this day and age?
I think for me, it's just to establish fairness in an imbalanced system. especially in this situation where we're dealing with a situation that involves an African American young man and a Caucasian young man. I think it's very important that when their voice can't be heard, there are others that stand in place to make sure that their voice is heard and that the correct message is being relayed and that they are treated fairly in whatever circumstance they're in, and also making sure that all laws apply to all and not just one set group.
I'm gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna ask a question. I'm not derailing the interview, but I'm gonna ask a question, and anybody can answer it. It really, when it comes to something like this case, this particular case, where we have a young black man who will be fighting for his life against not only the the justice system, which has always been, you know, partial to break our ass when it comes to black folk, but the good old boy network, the age of social media, the Trumpification of America, Texas as a whole. Do you, and I don't know if any of you have ever met Carmelo, but does that take a toll on any of you knowing this? Like, I get it. You are activists. Every one of you is activists. You are there to fight the good fight for this young man. So I know whatever you guys are facing pales in comparison to what Carmelo Anthony, his family is facing. But does it not get to you at some time? And
Hey,
anyone
Tiff,
of y'all can, anyone else can
let me
answer,
let me
please.
let me answer this one, Tiffany. Let me answer this. This is 12. Me personally, and I'm an individual. I saw the video 3 times.
Mm.
I went to go see the video 3 times. I don't think anybody went to go see the video that many times. The reason I did that was because of my background, and I understand that nothing is 100% unless you actually see it visibly with your own eyes. Okay. I don't go up on panels. I don't even really go up on my own people's panels anymore.
Yeah.
I love what they do. Chocolate Mama, you know, I sit back and laugh, you know, at her. I think Royal, he does panels and all of that. Big Tiff will come up. When Big Tiff comes up, Big Tiff, she's fantastic as well. I mean, she's fantastic. You know, but I'll just sit back and I'll listen because I went to go see that video 3 times. And I know that once you go do that, once you go and see that, once you see that video, it changes everything, my friend. Everything. That is the reason why we're fighting and we don't get disheartened because once you see that video, you it's nothing else to argue about. And you're talking about someone who went to go see it 3 times. And honestly, it's kind of funny to me when I see these individuals who hadn't seen the video, and they're arguing with their whole heart against Carmelo. Carmelo hadn't made any statements. The only people who made statements have been the Metcalfs.
Yep.
And I've never seen a victim. Honestly, I've never seen victims jump out in front of anything unless that victim was of a missing person. You understand? Then you go out and you plead to the public to find your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, whoever's missing. But I've never seen a situation like this where your son was involved in a situation and they were unalive and you run not even 24 hours. You let the media come. I don't know any mothers who would do that. They can't. They're distraught. And you're talking about a boy too. So you know, as boys, we close to our mamas.
Oh, of course.
You understand me? Boys close to their mamas. Normally, girls be close to their daddies. That's their first love. But I've just never seen anything like it. And that's what raised my attention. I don't know the Metcalfs, and I don't know Carmelo Anthony's family, but that's what brought it. Kind of raised my eyebrow to. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? See, I live in Collins County, and let me be clear with y'all, with everybody within the earshot of this. Most of the people who are doing all this race baiting and rage baiting and all this stuff, they don't even live out here. They don't even live out here.
Yeah, I was
You
literally going to say that next, because a lot of the pushback, a lot of the bullshit that I've seen since this happened has never been from any member of the Anthony family. It has never been from Carmelo himself. It has always been just random white folks who everybody got an opinion, but nobody knows what the hell they're talking about.
No, and they're generally garnering all of their information from subreddits
No.
and a very,
Wait a minute.
we'll say,
Subreddits as in
interesting,
from like Reddit?
and a very interesting Twitter. Yes, I know what his adoptive stepdaddy calls it. I call it what his OG daddy named it. Twitter account.
Let's say X gonna give it to
That that first of all, racist, you let us know every single day that betwixt your ears and behind your eyes there is nothing there. And I would say I feel sorry for you, but I don't. But I do want to say this.
That's sleepy.
Because I have some questions from some high school students, specifically high school boys who also run track and field. Please give me a moment, because I actually held a round table to let them ask these questions. They are watching. They will not comment. Their parents are with them because they are minors and people. Okay.
Hold on, we got kids watching this.
At this point, I just messaged them that I would be asking
because
their
I'm about
questions.
to say I've been cussing since.
No. At this point, this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay.
I was just checking because
for those in the panel that do not know, I also teach Black history, and I work with Black people who choose to homeschool their children. So this is the perspective that they are coming from.
She's actually legit. The rest of us is just rogues.
I love my big brother.
The rest of us is bums.
He gonna make sure my confidence is good. But here we go.
Yes, because yes.
I'm just the voice guy.
Hey,
if I
host,
take pauses,
let me ask you a question. Can I ask a question, host?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Let me ask you this. Do you want me to tell you what happened on the video first?
We cannot talk
before you
about
actually
that.
do-
We cannot talk about that due to the gag order. I did check. We cannot
No,
talk about it.
No, it's not. No, it's you mean the gag order doesn't stop.
Because
Oh, okay.
because of how we are listed as an organization, we cannot talk about it here.
As
We
a radio
can.
station,
You
we cannot
can.
talk about it.
We
can.
cannot.
We
We
can't say
cannot
shit.
hear. We cannot hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
I'm being very careful with my wording because I have to when I check some stuff. But if I take some pauses, some of these questions, I understand the fear of these young men, but because you all are activists, this is what they wanted to ask. First question. How can we defend ourselves and make it home to our mothers?
Our children can defend themselves.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
we can hear you now.
How our children can defend themselves is by making it vigilant. I want to say making it vigilant when they are in distress, if they can, to an adult. If not, de-escalation is always the key. As Carmelo tried to de-escalate the situation by telling them to leave him alone. So de-escalation is a major key in that. If they feel as though that they cannot defend themselves, I would suggest, and this is just my personal, I would suggest trying to find a supervised adult. If not, I say handle your business how you see fit. That is just my personal belief.
I
Next,
agree. I'm sorry.
next question, and this came from virtually all of them. To those when you're watching, I had to paraphrase because all of y'all said this in a different way, so I'm putting it all together. Um, how can they support and advocate for Carmelo as students themselves?
Let me go back. Let me go back to the question you asked previous. Bullying needs to be in the forefront of all schools because that's the reason we're here right now. Bullying needs to be at the forefront of every school. It literally needs to be almost taught in classes. This is something that needs to be taught not just to the children, but to the parents because the children learn what the parents taught them. As we've
Yeah.
seen in this Carmelo Anthony's situation, because the father came on pretending that he was, this is not race, this is not this, but yet he called a black woman the N word and all other kind of stuff that he said. So when you got to tackle an issue about bullying, and honestly, Texas, the laws that we have out here, they have to be changed. That's just simple as that. Now you want to look at them being changed now, but these laws that they put out there, these laws defend Carmelo, and that's just what they did. But the laws never were supposed to be for us. See, it's just a turnaround. You guys said that earlier.
Yes.
That's
And
the problem.
but see, that's one of the problems. That's one of the things that I'm afraid of when it comes to this case. By law, by every definition in law that I've heard since I was a child, you can defend yourself. Somebody runs up on you, you can defend yourself. You can defend yourself. But now, I think I really do honestly believe that they want to try to change that when it comes to this young man. Prophet, you had your hand up. You want to say something, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a message to any of the youth watching, right? And I am gonna tell something slightly anecdotal if that's okay. So circa 2020, I came from a very predominantly white tea town. I graduated that year. One of the white tea women that I went to school with actually went to my school and did her best to organize a peaceful protest. She reached out to an organization I was working with at the time, and we actually went on to take it further. And we did an entire teacher development day. And I spoke to the whole district alongside some part-time professors in Boston University about DEI and how to better protect their BLK children. The point is, activism does not have a start date. It doesn't have an age requirement. You can go to your school and do these lobbyings, right? You yourselves can reach out to local organizations and ask them to come help you if you feel like you're not safe. There is no age start or end to activism. It's just when you get up and decide to do something.
Makes sense.
More specifically, they want to know as high school students how they can advocate for Carmelo.
So let me say this. The first step of advocacy for them as high school students is going to be to have conversations about bullying, right? They need to talk about it. The second step is if they see something, say something. Because I promise you, these boys had a history. They had 6 hours worth of bullying records, right? And so, what I want these young people to do is if they know anyone, that person sitting in the back of the class is always quiet and being bullied on, speak up for that person, say something, tell the bully to stop it and that you see them. If you feel like you're going to be bullied, then you tell the principal, you tell the teacher. The first thing is not to be silent about it, right? And the second thing is to be proactive about it. You're going to speak up and you're going to say something because even in those things and doing that, you are helping to support Carmelo because Carmelo was bullied. And so it's the same action. As far as them getting involved, we had a campaign for young people where they would, they were saying free the footage and and they were attempting to help Carmelo, with their voices and saying we support you, Carmelo. And unfortunately, we want to. Unfortunately, they were. Their video was taken. It was placed on Sarah Field's page. She threatened to call CPS on the parents for allowing them to participate in the video. It was our Hey Carmelo campaign. And so what I want them to do is internally within their schools and within their, even if they're homeschooled, right, to have conversations about bullying. We don't want them involved in a way that's going to show their faces or their names or anything like that, because we need to protect them from the evil that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
she really tried to spin a narrative with that. She's
Yeah.
very,
How
very
the hell?
dumb.
How the
But
how the
real,
fuck did
real
she get so much
quick,
power?
because some of these students
Well,
have to go. They collective from the parents have a message for everyone here. Um, thank you for what you're doing. As parents of black boys and as black boys, we haven't thought that they would be protected or we would be protected. We've been afraid because of what happened to Carmelo. To know that people will fight, sorry, have to scroll. To know that people will fight for us as black boys when the country tells us that we're not worth anything means the world to us. Thank you. Sorry, scrolling again. Thank you, and we will do what you said, and we will fight from where we are to help as well. Please be safe and be blessed.
you know, my wife and I were talking about this today. How in America, when black folks were patrolling their neighborhoods, uh, like the Panthers were, it was a problem. It was you know, they were socialist group and this, that, and the third. But when white supremacists and those uh, gun-toting idiots have their little compounds doing the exact same thing, nobody has ever used COINTELPRO to get rid of the Triple K. Nobody's ever had COINTELPRO to get rid of white supremacist groups, but they always seem to have them when it comes to black folks. We always have to tell our children that we got to walk on ice to, you know, assuage the feeling of racist white people. In America, it literally will tell us over and over, we have to make ourselves bigger, smaller, so that these people can feel better. But they never do the same thing for us. This Carmelo Anthony case became a race case because of the Metcalf's father, period. Like, nobody had nobody said the names and they just described it, kid sitting there minding his business, this, that, and the third, something happens, one of the children is dead, you can take that on the facts. But it wasn't until Carmelo's father stood his ass out in front of a microphone and made this shit a race issue. And now that they're having a conversation about it being a race issue, now Carmelo has to walk a fine line. His family has to walk a fine line. Not too much money, can't flash, very humble, this, that, and the third. Whatever they do with their money, we gotta scrutinize it. But the fucking Metcalfs, the Metcalf mama and the other son were on fucking Fox News. No disrespect. Y'all are here and we are so very happy y'all are here. But y'all are not on Fox News. The Anthonys can go on Fox News. Not Anthony's, but the Metcalfs can go on Fox News. But the Anthonys can't. How the fuck is it that we still live in a society where young men, like the one Taz was talking about, are afraid? They're fucking afraid. Do you understand? They're afraid. They're afraid. And for what? Why? Like, why do our kids always have to be, if we're bullied by white folks, we gotta forgive them. If we defend ourselves, we're thugs. This shit makes no fucking sense to me. And one of the reasons I really haven't talked about the Carmelo Anthony cases, because it bothers me in it bothers me as a former 17-year-old, 16-year-old. It bothers me as a father of boys. It bothers me as a grandfather of boys. Why the fuck is it our kids always gotta dim our shine or make ourselves less when these motherfuckers can be whatever the fuck they want to be. That's just my commentary. Again, as the
Hey,
interviewer,
and
she
Thomas,
does
let
all.
me say this to you, Thomas. Let me say this to you, Thomas. Let me say this to you, brother. The law is prevention, not just survival. And that's what you tell your children. That's what I tell mine. It's prevention. It's not survival. In other words, I'm not gonna let you put your hands on me and beat me down. See, I'm supposed to wait. If you listen to their logic, then I'm supposed to wait for you
Mm.
to stab me, to shoot me,
Mm-hmm.
or to beat me down. You don't tell your kids that. That's my message to our children. The law is prevention. We got to understand that the law is prevention. And let me tell you something. You get home just like Carmelo did, and then we gonna fight the battle. And see, that's why you have individuals like us and you guys in this platform right here, and you have people like Tiffany Billions. You know, they step out there, man. And we gotta, and that's because we're fighting for our children. But they have you when once you understand the law, we gotta hold their ass accountable.
Yes.
And the only way we're gonna be able to do that, see, white people unify. They unify, even if they
In a
wrong.
heartbeat. Yeah.
Even if they're wrong, they will unify. We have got to unify. And then once we do it, we have these raccoons that see, because if you look on TikTok right now, the biggest platforms are ran by black people that are against Carmelo. And the white people who are these straight up racists and they use them like tools, they hide behind them. You don't really have a whole lot of white. The white ones are coming. They using the black people so they can say what they can't say. Then they give them $200 or $300 a month or whatever it is. See, that's what we're fighting against. It's a whole nother demon. It's just like it back, just like when we were slavery.
Yes.
You got the same. It's 2025. It's the same damn people, and that's what we got going on. So see, we fighting all of them, man. We fighting four corners. They boxing us in, just like your co-host asking them questions.
Yep.
They're boxing us in, and we fighting through all of that, man. That's what's going on.
Yep.
You understand?
We're
And our people are
coming
creating the
to
damage.
Yes, sorry to cut you off, but we are coming to the end because at this point to get everybody in, we're gonna have to give everybody like 2 to 3 minutes for their final thoughts. But this is what I want to do, if you all are willing to do it. This is gonna have to be a 3-parter, and it's going to have to be a crossover 3-parter because there are things that do need to be discussed, but we're gonna have to take it off of GCPR and then bring it back to GCPR. So this is what I going to volunteer as tribute. I have a standalone platform, and we can go more in depth with the things that we cannot talk about on GCPR because it is a radio station. If you all do not mind, we can do it this week, Tuesday and or Thursday, or next week, or in the new year, and then come back onto the Villains View for a follow-up after that when people have it in the atmosphere, the more information, and we can get more eyes, more ears, more etc. on this if you all don't mind. Whoever is willing. It doesn't have to be all of the same people because I know people, y'all got things to do and you got plans budding and everything else. But the offer stands. You do not have to answer tonight. You can mull it over. We can have Jess reach back out and set it all up. But I want you to know that it's on there. I also want to say right now, because I have been following this and covering this from the beginning. And let me say this, and I mean this wholeheartedly, and I'm saying this publicly for a reason. What you need from me, from my skill set, from legal background to writing to media connections to whatever, reach out. I'm not charging you for anything. I'm not asking for anything. You don't got to say my name. You ain't got to do nothing. What you need, I will be here to give in any capacity that I can. Even if you're just having a bad day and you need somebody to sit with you, because advocacy gets hard and it can feel lonely even though there's a multitude of you. Because while you're pouring into other people's cups, I want you to know that there is at least one person that's willing to pour into yours. that you don't stand alone, because even it could be 100 of you, there's going to be those days where you will feel like you were the lone person out there. And I don't want you to feel that. And before we get into our final thoughts, to each and every one of you, each and every one of you, I want to say thank you. I want to say this is what I envisioned my entire life of what community is to look like. We don't have to be neighbors. We don't have to know each other's actual first names. We don't ever have to actually physically sit down and break bread. But if one of us sends up the bat signal, we're all going to come. And that's what you all did. When you all introduced yourselves and you were saying how you got into advocacy, it's because you saw the bat signal in the sky. You asked no questions and you got into action in the capacity that you could. And if that capacity you felt wasn't good enough, you learned a better capacity to show up in. And I say thank you. You are the heroes that we needed as children and we desire today. You are what will make this world a better place. You will be that push to get us closer to equity. And don't you ever forget it, no matter what anybody else says. Let them know that you got a slightly demonic new sister that will bite people if necessary. Not with my mouth, though, with somebody else's.
Hey, yo.
All that up.
Like, how the fuck are we supposed? What do you want us to do? I will say this. As the
Songs will
management
be sung of your greatness.
I
That's
will
all
say
I
this.
got.
Listen, I will
Again,
say
I'm
this
the
as
voice
the,
guy.
The management of GCPR, we understand that there are limitations that each and every one of you have when it comes to speaking on this case. We get that. We get that. But the one thing you will be able to know is that if a piece of this episode of this show shows up someplace, for example, Sarah Field, and
I
she
wish
tries
that
to
bitch
slander
would.
any of you, I promise you, I will protect you. I will protect you. I will put my reputation and the reputation of this radio station on the line.
And just so y'all
for
know,
you.
my personal attorney does watch. And yes, I have a personal attorney.
He does.
I get
He does.
into trouble and I get blocked by a lot
She
of
always gets
people
into trouble.
on. I have valid
See, it's not her
questions,
fault.
okay?
It's not her
They
fault.
just don't
I mean,
like it.
it's not her fault. I
It's
mean,
not.
Word for real.
See, it's not.
It is,
I mean,
those
shit. Look,
frogs, those frogs found their way on their own to Mitch the Glitchy Bitch's office on Capitol Hill. I don't
see,
know how they got there.
that's not her fault. That's not her fault. Ain't
And
nobody,
Sean
nobody can blame her for that. That's
bitch
not her fault.
Hannity, that's not my fault that he got a problem with me. AndAlex Jones, that was a little bit my fault.
Yo.
But
No, see, no, again,
his
still,
ex-wife,
no,
his
see, again,
ex-wife
no,
said
no,
that I could
no,
say it.
no,
His
see,
ex-wife
again,
said that I could say it.
no, see,
was a
then, again,
whole
that's
lot
not your
my
fault. That's not your fault either, Taz. Just because Alex Jones is sensitive, that's not your fault.
He is
I
very
really
sensitive.
want y'all to
And
understand. We
getting
have
put into
somebody-
on timeout by
we have
a whole
somebody
country in
here.
Africa was
Yes.
it was a bad translation.
Do you
I really thought that the
understand?
name
You have-
See?
That was a
you have
translation
beef with
issue.
fucking
It was a
Alex
miscommunication.
Jones.
Yeah.
I haven't even listen.
What we've
I
got
haven't
here is
met
a
an
failure
Alex
to
late.
communicate.
Literally, I'm reading a comic book with Lex Luthor, and that's his first name is Alexander. You are
That's-
fighting with Alex fucking Jones.
Yeah, that's why the one dude that owns a comic book company made me a villain in his comic book.
Lord have mercy. But as our lovely news core co-host alluded to, we like to do a thing called final thoughts, which is basically just the thoughts that you give out briefly for people who need to hear them or what have you during the week. And with a cast of this magnitude, we will have to do final thoughts a little bit early. Just to
Yeah,
make
and
sure
first of all,
everybody
to
gets
the
in.
to the fans, to my heathens, yes, y'all, my followers are called heathens. Yes, the frogs had Jarvis. That's how they got there. And Go Snapper, yes, they can't handle the questions. That's why they blocked me. Minus Gail King, she blocked me because I said that she was an overtanned white bitch.
I mean,
Where was the lie?
Do you mean to tell me?
I mean,
that
I mean,
that I'm on the Villains View.
I mean,
with you, and then
you're
all
not
of a
wrong.
sudden I got to worry about Gail King going to ham on me. See, you are
Yeah.
ruining my Oscar chance.
I mean, bro, she's not
I mean,
wrong.
it's Gail King.
There
You are
goes that
ruining my
EGOT.
Oscar chance.
Said,
Right there.
It's Gail King. The only thing
Bruh.
that she's good for is
There
Muff
goes
Dive
your
and
EGOT,
Oprah.
my
Like,
friend.
said,
Yo.
bruh, she's not wrong. I mean, she's
Just
not
'cause
wrong.
She's not wrong doesn't mean she shouldn't say it. Like, hey,
oh, my
we
bad.
thought that.
Oh.
We thought that, but
Oh,
you know,
all right,
like, hey, yo,
You
fair.
said take risks.
and we got kicked off of TikTok.
Yeah,
Oh,
Do you?
my bad. First of all, you said go big or go home yesterday.
I did
That's what
say
you said.
I did say that yesterday. I did tell y'all we need to go big or go home, but I didn't realize we were gonna go
I
home.
didn't. Said
You know what I mean? Like,
he had a certain
Final thoughts. T. Nathan gonna be waiting on us.
he had a certain boundary in mind.
yes, I did. All right, so as I alluded to, we like to do a thing called final thoughts. With a cast this big, we're going to go ahead and start around the horn. I will call a name, and then you just give us your final thoughts. So we will start with Miss Tiffany Billions. Final thought.
Thank you so much for having us. And Taz, we're definitely going to take you up on your offer. I'll reach back out to Jess and let her know that. My heart is I've been touched by the children, by the young people and their questions. How do we stay protected? And I'm going to fight even harder, right? I've been fighting hard, and it does get tiring. And sometimes it does feel like you need someone to pour into you. But as I was telling the activists today, sometimes you just need to take a break, even if it's for a day or two, and come back to it because we'll be here fighting. And so my final thoughts is that at the end of the day, I need to make sure that my descendants and your descendants have equal protection under the law, and that what goes for the white man goes for the black man, and that we are all treated equally. And I'm here for that. I'm here until the end for that. Until I take my last breath, I'll fight. I'll fight for it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Miss Lena, final thoughts.
Thank you, and thank you all for having me. My final thought is this: silence helps no one, but holding Frisco or the city of Frisco and Collin County accountable will help Carmelo in this case. Justice only works when we're willing to do the work, we're willing to fight and ask the hard questions and speak up about it. And as Miss Billion said, we need to make sure that we're fighting for especially these young Black teenagers, because they are scared. Just listening to what Taz said, they are fearful. And so it's not about picking and choosing a side, it's about fighting for what's right and making sure the law works for all people, not just one one certain color.
Absolutely. Brother 12 Tribes, final thoughts.
Most High God don't put fear in his people. We don't have fear. Fear is given to us by the enemy. So everybody that's within an earshot of what I'm saying, if you are a part of that, you understand what I'm saying. So don't be afraid, because it could be your son tomorrow. It could be your daughter tomorrow. And you're going to wish and you're going to pray and you're going to hope that you have someone or people like you have on this panel right here that we advocating for you, that'll be fighting for you. We got to stick together. That's our problem. Unity. And they understand that. These people understand that. United we stand, divided we fall. You're only as strong as your weakest link. We have to learn to stay together. We have to stick together. Stop all the bullshit. Stop all of the, the shit he say, she say, and all of that. We got to fight for this kid right here, because this is precedent. This kid, this is going to be able to show whether or not your child that has brown melanin in his skin will be able, just like I think Taz asked those questions. Do I just let somebody just, beat my head and just smash my head into the concrete? Do I do that on some wet, slippery bleachers? Do I do that? Or do I try to fight to make sure that that doesn't happen to me? That's what we fighting for. It's not just Carmelo. They want to make it be about, but it's just not about Carmelo. It's your child too. It's your child too.
Absolutely. Brother Dwayne, final thought.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys again for this evening. And I just don't, just like 12, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a power of love and a sound mind. And we do have to remind our youngsters that they have to get home, do everything you have to do to get home, because you have a community behind you. And once you get home, we will make sure your parents are okay. Don't be disenchanted about what these people can do to your family because you had the wherewithal and the confidence to get home. Protect yourself at all costs. And we just have to, as a community, to stay together. And I will lay down my life for this moment because I have grandkids. And so I want my grandkids to be at peace. I want your grandkids to be at peace. I want all of our families to be at peace. And so just as we have stuck our necks out for Carmelo and his family, I would stick my neck out for anybody in their family because that's what it's about.
Absolutely. Brother Lee Matt, 1870. Final thought.
The majority of us on this panel, we've all heard the song before. Children are our future. Those children that were asking those questions, as much as I would love for them to go advocate and use their social media to put out things to advocate for Carmelo Anthony, it would be a beautiful thing. I wish we had those resources when we were growing up. But as Tiffany said, don't do it because it's a lot that comes with that. And what we need you to do is go be the lawyers, go be the ones who change the laws, go be the doctors, because we're not just fighting battles as Black people with the law. We're fighting battles also with health in the hospitals, not coming out of hospitals as we walk in. And at the same time, always walk with your head up. Do not walk in fear because fear is a sin.
Absolutely. Vibe Chaser 22. Final thought.
Yeah, so I just want to first and foremost thank you guys for the platform and allowing us to speak on this topic. Because in today's world, if self-defense is a crime, then nobody that looks like us is truly safe. We stand with Carmelo. We stand for due process. We stand for families whose lives are being torn apart. Because in times like this, silence is not neutral; it's a choice. And sometimes we just gotta make the choice to speak up for what's right. Because tomorrow it could be your son, it could be your daughter, it could be your niece or your nephew, and people that look like us just have to, start standing up and speaking up for what's right. And Carmelo is innocent, and we just count down the days to acquittal.
Absolutely. Miss, I am that one. I'm gonna make sure to say it there. I am that. Final thoughts, ma'am.
I just want to thank you guys for letting us speak on this platform and to get the word out. I'm going to say this to the youth: please protect yourself. Speak out. If you see something or seeing somebody get bullied, please go tell somebody. Don't let this go on for too long. And if they don't believe you, please document it and keep all the evidence. And just keep doing what you're doing. We love y'all.
Works. Erica 92. Final thought.
Yes, first and foremost, thank you so much for having us here today. And thank you, Tiffany, for the invite to come and speak up for justice. When you read about the children, it really touched me. And, because I am a mother, of a teenage son. And so I stand here as a mother, but also as a citizen who believes deeply in the promise of this country and the protections guaranteed by our Constitution. And if they don't want to give them to us, I'm here to take them.
Miss Yoli is
No,
actually
driving.
she's driving, so we will.
Chirac Evil Queen.
Final thoughts, ma'am.
Villa, my friend, I thank you, Chad, you as well, and Gavin and Angry. I love you guys. So thank you all for this platform. In the words of Chairman Fran Hampton, I am a revolutionary and I am also a mother of a young Black queen. So I stand with this family and those children that you spoke of. And I say that we are honored to serve you guys, and we are going to make sure that we protect you because self-defense is not a crime, and our children should not be in fear to defend themselves as the other races do. So I do thank you all for this platform, and we will continue to advocate for all these children. And thank you, Miss Tiffany Billions, for teaching us how to be advocates and advocate for our children. So most definitely, Villain, and as you know, I'll see you all tomorrow for the Sound of Call.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Miss
Jenny?
Jenny, final thoughts. Miss Jenny. She's probably. I will go ahead and skip her. Miss Diamond, final thoughts, ma'am.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure and honor to meet you all. I just want to genuinely thank you for your willingness to help in this fight. Even the last thing that you said, Mr. Bishop, is, even saying, hey, I'm willing to jeopardize myself and my platform. That is an act of selflessness. And I thank you so much for y'all believing in Carmelo. And I look forward to also one day be an asset and a help to you guys as well. And that I would have an opportunity to reciprocate the love and that you guys are showing here tonight. So we just thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you, ma'am. Royal Wade, final thoughts, brother. Miss
Trusting God has a statement. I'll read it. She's at a basketball tournament for her grandson. She says, trust in God in all things, lean on him for all understanding. Self-defense is not a crime. Sincerely, trust in God 24/7. So on to Miss Sissy 11251.
She literally just put in a message. I'm driving.
I'm driving.
Self-defense
Okay.
is not a crime. That
Shock
came
with
from
Bob. So Lord Gaga.
Yeah, like I said the other night, it was a great honor for me to introduce Tiffany to Bishop Thomas here, because these are two of the most fierce fighters for justice that I've ever seen and had the honor of being around. I think what's going on in Collin County is a grain of sand on the beach of what is wrong with the justice system in this country. I think that when Carmelo is exonerated, which he will be, that this will ring out through history as one of the greatest moments in civil rights in this country, in pushing us forward into the country that we need to be, into the justice system that we need to have for everybody. What they're doing there is wrong. I knew it the moment I heard it on April 3rd coming out of Hunter's mouth that Carmelo was innocent. And then I found out about the video. The rest is history. I'm just humbled by the people who are in this and the people who God have brought us together for this very reason. I would have known none of these people were it not for the tragedy that befell Carmelo. And I will fight till my last breath to make sure that kid walks, and it doesn't stop there.
Absolutely.
Prophet
Dewan, final thoughts, sir.
How you doing, brother? I'm actually going to came up for this one. I just wanted to say before I preface my statement by saying I apologize for what happened earlier. I came to your podcast and showed my butt, and especially with an invite from Tiffany, it means a lot that I apologize to you. You were actually a part of my radicalization circa 2020. You, like she said, is one of the fiercest fighters I've ever seen. I apologize for disrespecting your platform. But I say this to every child that listened to every man and woman, right? There are laws for Black Americans that need to be recodified, like our right to vote. Our right to self-defense is not one of them. It is not one of them, right? What Carmelo Anthony did on that day is refuse to be swallowed by the beast that is white supremacy, a beast that we continue to fight, advocating for him right now. And I want to make this clear because you have your slogans, right? T Nation has his, Consciously has his, here's mine. Identification is not victimization. It is not, it never will be, right? I don't ask you to be fearless. I ask you to walk with courage because I am here, right? Thomas is here. In every corner of America, there are advocates right?
Yep.
Do not walk with fear. Stand with courage, because there is nothing that has been given to us as Black Americans. Everything we have ever gotten, we have taken through political means, power of protest, the power of our voices, whatever it be, right? And everything we have taken has been earned 10 times over before we've done so. So never let somebody else, especially so, I hate to say them, right? But we all know what I mean. Never let them and their propensity to make you feel afraid stop you from doing what's actionable. Because standing proudly is one of the best things you can do in the face of a beast that wants to hold you down. Your pride, your voice, your passion, even if you're not an advocate yourself, are things that stand to the system and say, we will not stand for you. I will not kneel to you. I will not bend to you. So I ask the young men and women that listen here tonight not to walk in fear, but to hold our hands and stand in courage. Because it's not the absence of fear. It's actionable things in the face of it. And that's what activism really is. What am I playing? Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. All right. So I flipped a coin and Taz won. She's going for So
I'm not going first. I'm closing out.
Oh no,
You don't
I'm
want me to
closing
go
out.
first. You
I'm
do not want
closing
me
out.
to go first.
Okay,
You
I won't
trust
let
me.
you go
You want
first.
me to close
You go to
out.
second to last. You go second to last. All right. Gambit. Final thoughts, sir.
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank everybody that came on tonight. Thank you for coming by. I know I'm just a silly guy, but I do have a quick little story. I want to swerve back to the bullying component here. One thing that struck with me was the bullying part. I had my fair share of bullies. One in particular, he used to, bully me literally every day, and he would find new and extraordinary fun ways to mess with me. And he did this all through school, all through grade school, and then he went to a different school. And then through high school, we barely acknowledged each other. And then years later, after high school, we saw each other at the bar, and he apologized, like right out the gate. Like he apologized for everything that happened in grade school, and he was just like, "Man, I was going through some rough time at home," and immediately I was like, "Man, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it." Because that's just the kind of guy I am. I mean, this is like, it's all in the past. And then we became Facebook friends. We started, connecting. We started hanging out every now and again. And one time he after his mom died, he was having a rough time, and I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey man, I want you to know that you're a fantastic father, and I love how watching you with your daughter." And he was like, "Have I told you lately that seeing the activist that you've become is a pleasure to see, because what you were back in school versus what you've become is just the progression is just a fantastic thing to see." and it made me feel so honored, but just check on everybody. Just make sure that all your bullies, I don't know where I was originally going with that, but make sure your bullies are always in check somehow, because they're not all doing well. That's the main thing. The bullies need help somehow.
You big ass.
I think.
You big soft. You big lovable.
I'm sorry.
Don't
No
be
sorry.
sorry. Do
Hell are you
not
sorry
be
about?
sorry.
No.
No, man.
No, no, no,
Look,
no,
In
no, sir.
2026, we must stop apologizing for being human and
Yep.
for caring because we cannot let this rogue world remove our humanity and make us feel like we have to apologize for being humane. Let's not do that.
I ain't apologizing for shit. Mr. Gambit. Not Gambit. Mr. Angry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't call me. I'm done.
Well-
Mr. Angry. Final thoughts, sir.
Well, first off, I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight. I appreciate you all, coming on, and for those that'll be able to come back for after part 2 with Taz, and then coming back here again. For those that'll be able to come back, be glad to see you here. To kind of piggyback off of Gambit as someone who was also bullied extraordinarily in my youth. I discover now that when a lot of my main bullies now, during the times that they were bullying me, they were going through, just like how Gambit said, really rough times. Like, one of my main bullies was one that used to be a coworker with me, and he was going through a time of, he signed away his rights to his kid, and he was going through that whole emotional turmoil. Had no idea what was going on with it, and the only outlet he had was just jokes, as he would call them. And now knowing what he was going through then, and knowing just how that could have affected him, and the only way that he had was just that, and it puts me in a weird place because for so long I held that just against him. And then to find out is that he's going through this, and I empathize with him, and I sympathize, and my heart goes out to him, and we turned out to be really good friends. So yeah, I kind of understand exactly where Gambit's coming from, and even though, yes, I make a lot of statements of I don't care, and to a point, sometimes I don't. But when I do care, I care very deeply, and the ones that I do care about, they will always be to under my umbrella of protection. So there's that, and that's all I got.
You another big old song. Miss Taz J. Final thoughts, ma'am.
My brothers in arms. They have great compassion.
We can't hear.
God married into the family.
Taz.
Nemesis bitch, and fuck that hoe. I don't have no compassion for her. But as far as final thoughts, in all seriousness, we are told every day and pushed to try to be indoctrinated into believing that there are two subsets that live in the United States. But we are a duality. We are also, on a daily basis, told that we don't truly have community as Black people, as women, as men. But we do. And as someone said earlier, that white people unite, white people try to protect one another. They don't really unite. We unite. It's just we tend to unite quietly. But nights like tonight are necessary. So we make that unity loud. That we make it as loud as what crumbled the walls of Jericho. We make it as loud as the winds of a typhoon and the winds of a tornado. No longer will we stand in the eye of the storm and watch the storm take up what is ours, what our ancestors built with their blood, their sweat, their tears, their hopes, prayers, and dreams. We will be that boisterous, raucous, unwavering roar that they will all hear as we align, because we are bringing the Serengeti to them now. From this point forward, don't say that we're not unified, because you can't look at this many people that just saw a signal in the sky and decided to assemble quicker than the Avengers and the Justice League together and say that there is no unity. We just have to lift our voices as our anthem says and make sure it rings upon every ear, that from now on, when our names, our community rolls off of their tongues, they quiver, because they know when they look at one of us wrong, they have to deal with the rest of us correcting their vision. And that is my final thought.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and now for my final thoughts. So this is the last serious show. Next week, either we will be off or we will have a preview to the Yankees 2025. So this is the last real serious show that we will do in 2025. And I want to tell you guys something that I told the production people behind GCPR. I said, in 2026, we have to be bold. That means there are going to be stories that need to be told. We need to tell them. There are things that are going on that I want us knee deep involved. There are actions that are going to define what America looks like in 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years, long after my bones are powdered. We need to be a part of it. I sat and I thought about Carmelo. I thought about Rizzy. And I thought about why can't black folks be happy? Why can't we be happy? Why is it that when I'm passionate about something, I'm angry? But a white guy says the exact same thing that I'm saying. He's passionate. Why can't black women walk around with their real hair, their natural hair? Whether it's an afro, whether it's blonde, whether it's cornrows, whatever it is. Why can't black kids just enjoy themselves without being looked at as thugs and criminals? Why can't our black elderly, our queens, our kings, our mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers, why can't they live a life that befits the life that they live? An existence that allows them to be who they truly are. You know, we now have this new rampant thing called reverse racism, brought to you in part by a bunch of white folks who feel bad because they can't be victors and victims at the same fucking time. So every day I hear how much I hate white people. Every day. In a comment, a video, what have you. I hate white people. I tell them, hey, I'm married, Caucasian. She doesn't claim it, but I digress. Nope, you hate white people. You hate white people. You hate white people. You know what's funny? Those same people that say that I hate white people never look within themselves and say that they hate black folk. You know why? Because they're worried about cancel culture. You know what cancel culture is? Accountability. And with that accountability comes an idea and a notion of something. Black folks are allowed to be happy. We're allowed to be sad. We're allowed to be imperfect. One of the biggest, I say this about black women all the time. They save democracy every fucking election, and yet for some damn reason, they can't wear their natural hair. They can't get emotional. They can't be loud. They can't have laugh. They can't, in other words, be human. Ours is a tightrope. White folks is a 4-lane fucking highway. So why is it that year after year, black folks have to dim our shine or sell out like these tap dancing Coonesian sell out biscuit eating motherfuckers do? So I have a proposition. This is an agreement between myself and the white community. Let us be who the fuck we are. Let me wear my goddamn black fingernails, my black earrings, and let me be smarter than you. You ain't got to like it. I don't give a fuck if you do or not. Let me be smarter than you. Here's the trade-off. I won't remind you of a time where me saying that, people like you, people that look like you, would have fucked me up, would have put me in a tree, would have killed my mama, killed my daddy, murdered my brother. I won't even mention it. I won't even mention it. Because obviously, there's nothing black folks can fucking do that won't scare you. So let's make an agreement. Let us live our fucking lives. Let us live our lives. Let our children be children. Let them run in the street, run in the fire hydrants. Let them play basketball. Let them lie. Let them get in trouble without having to worry about being fucking expelled at school. Let them be kids. Let our gays and trans and lesbians and non-binary, let them be as happy and as weird as they fucking want. Let our elderly be treated the same way you want your elderly treated. Black veteran, World War II vet. Don't take his name off of nothing. Leave his name alone. He fought for this country. Give him that respect. You see an elderly black woman, that's a queen mother. You don't know what her life has been like. Show her the same grace you would want for your mother. Stop talking about reverse fucking racism. The shit doesn't exist. Let us be us. You do us a favor. Get over yourself. Stop looking and being afraid. Stop waiting for black folks to come up and just take something from you like we want your shit. Stop giving us fucking stereotypes before we walk in the fucking door. You don't know me. Let me get in there before you say something about me. Now I understand this is a pipe dream, the dream of a 12-year-old. It's a kid thinking this. It's a kid. Is it really, though? Don't you want peace? Don't you want nobody fucking with you? Don't you want to live your life the way you want to live it? Don't you want to do what it is exactly it is that you do? What the fuck makes us so different? Carmelo Anthony defended himself. But y'all saw a thug. Y'all labeled that boy before the body drop. Y'all labeled him. He didn't even get a fucking chance. He didn't get a chance to tell his side of the story. He still hasn't. He had to be every fucking boogeyman that you could think up in your head before he was even a fucking suspect. So maybe in 2026, you look at your life realistically and allow us to just fucking live, not as just black folks, but black folk plus. Just give us that. And if you can't, don't fucking ask us why we're so goddamn mad. You already know. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of a magnificent, magnificent show. Magnificent show. I want to thank every single one of you for coming on, sharing your passion for making sure that Carmelo Anthony gets the justice he so richly deserves.
And dealing with our crazy.
And dealing with the four of us with our nut job asses. And I want to thank you who are watching. T. Nathan, I know you're mad at me. I'm sorry, but bruh, come on now. This many people, you're just gonna have to eat that one.
Take 10 extra minutes on the other side, T. Nathan.
Yes,
you
can
this.
take 10 extra minutes, brother. You can take 10 extra minutes. So for all of you, I want to thank you all. And Taz, Angry, Gambit, once again, the best in the business. I am humbled by being a part of this with you. We never have a bad show, and if we do, you'll never know. And for all of you who will watch, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for keeping the chats alive and moving. Fuck TikTok all day and twice on Sunday as a staff record label and the motherfucking crew. There, boom. I say what I said. I don't give a fuck about them. Fuck them. Tomorrow morning, Sound of Coffee. Y'all already know what the fuck we talking about. Them white boys got their ass whooped this past weekend. I bet you won't do it again. For Taz, for Angry, for Gambit, and for myself, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And we will see you all for the final show. Are we doing a show next week?
Yes. Because we gotta
get the
pregame out for the Yankees.
We gotta get the pregame for the Yankees out. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And we will see you all.
Plus, I got a whole outfit for next week. So yeah, we'll be
Lord
here.
Have mercy. 7 whole days. Stay tuned for conversations with T. Nathan on these GCPR airwaves. Ladies and gentlemen, the villains are